Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another satiating episode of Diatribes with the voice of Boone. Now, here's your host, the iron and irrigating voice of Boone. Morning, everyone. I've started recording my practice sessions and then playing them in the background, so slowly inching towards that classic YouTuber B-roll footage with custom music. You should really not expect that here. I mean, as much as I want this channel to be successful, I really don't think that it's ever going to get to the point where I'm investing that much time and dedication of learning new skills in order to insert music into these. So, but I'm happy to experiment, for the sake of stretching my boundaries. So, this is going to be probably a short one. I just wanted to talk a little bit about all the little things that happen behind these curtains of Hollywood. I feel like things are a lot more transparent than they used to be, for sure, with social media really webbing everything together, mixed with these news outlets, I think, really sticking their noses in all the right places. I feel like there's a lot of data for guys like me to really cherry pick from. So, Elizabeth Holmes. As a aspiring lawyer, I've really been keeping up with her case for the longest time, since around 2021. But for those of you who don't know, here's a quick 10-minute nutshell. She was a woman who, at a very young age, with no degree, wanted to change the world. She wanted to invent this small box, no bigger than about a bread box, I suppose. Not that I've ever seen one. That was going to be designed to take a small drop of blood pricked from your finger and diagnose you with everything wrong with you. Iron deficiencies, diseases, you name it. So she went on TV and revealed her big plan. She was taking all these, what would modern day GoFundMe be, and all these investments from ghost investors, and taking on all these people, board members, and signing all these contracts, and people like Rupert Murdoch and Larry Ellison and Don Lucas, and all these big names in Silicon Valley, really making a name for herself very quickly before she was even in her 30s, I suppose. The thing is, the box didn't work. It was a fraud. She had been stringing people along with just manipulation after manipulation, pushback after pushback, and eventually the right people were able to uncover a little bit of the glass onion, I guess it's called now, and she is looking at some serious time. She got sentenced to 11 years about 2 months ago. And 11 years is very excessive. Now, what was the output from everything that she had done with this little business of hers? She costed about it was either $7 million or $7 billion in lost investors' money. I feel like $7 million is more appropriate. All those people lost their jobs. All those legal fees. Probably plenty of lawsuits if she still had any money left, and her unwillingness to take any responsibility, I think, really added to that sentencing from Judge Davila in San Jose. So, what makes her case so special? Well, she's she's not very young anymore. She's like 38, I think, but still pretty young, relatively speaking. Good looking, very charming. Young woman is able to pull off that kind of a move in the business industry. Very unheard of, I think. Granted, my youth would not really permit me to speak from priors. I don't know what Bernie Madoff did or really the circumstances behind it, but this was a very big case because no one was ever expecting it. She was the first. She was the youngest female self-made billionaire, or was she the first female self-made billionaire? One of the two. It's still a very big mantle to hold, and it was a fraud. So people were very mad, and she'd paid the price. She was liberal, very liberal, openly. She actually invented, not invented. Wouldn't that be funny? She invited the current President Biden, while he was still vice president under Obama, to come to her lab and to survey it. Now, I've been told to not laugh at my jokes so much, but picture this. You're Elizabeth Holmes. You're sweating pinballs because you're about to present a box that is supposed to be able to diagnose blood diseases and disorders like it's going out of style. And the president is coming to see it, and it doesn't work. You have nothing to show him. All you have is your charm and your wits and a handful of team members that have PhDs that know how to make things sound scientifically sound. President walks in. Oh, Vice President walks in. Excuse me. Well, there goes the no laughing rule. He analyzes. Elizabeth is all like, Mr. Vice President, what a pleasure to have you. I really hope you enjoy the lab. And Biden's all like, this is a very neat lab. So, where's the ice cream? Drum roll. So, yeah, that was kind of a flop. I really don't think that, I don't know what she was expecting, rather, with inviting the vice president over. He's not a physicist. He's not a biochemist. Why are you showing him? Just for the publicity? Well, if that's the case, why not invite Obama? Who cares about the vice president? Yeah, that's Elizabeth Holmes for you. So 11 years, we'll see if she does them all. But personally, I think that it's very impressive, especially considering that that's California. And, like I said, she's a good-looking, witty, charming Caucasian woman. So, and she's a mother, by the way. She actually just got pregnant and gave birth a little bit before her sentencing. So the justice system, I tell you, sometimes it does have its days. I'd like to move on to the Chrisleys. They also got sentenced not too long ago. For those of you who don't know, and this is a little bit heartfelt because my mom was a little bit of a mega fan of the show. Rest her soul. Chrisley Knows Best. It's about this small Georgia family. Well, I say small in the sense that the amount of people, but they were living in this lavish house because the father, Todd, was this hardworking man who worked at a cotton mill day in and day out, and finally made his way into the business world by getting into real estate, selling one house after another, making those connections, endless nights probably, lots of coffee going through his system on the daily, but finally he was able to become a success and give a better life for his family, his several kids and some adopted, I believe, and his lovely wife, who probably supported him all the way, and as well as his mother, who lives with them. So that's Chrisley Knows Best. It's about a small family that just goes through their day-to-day life of being rich in Georgia and having the world at their fingertips. All of them very good looking. Like even the father, he's like probably, he's got to be at least 40 because his kids are like in their 20s or so, but he looks like he's like 16 some days, like could probably throw on one of those like one-sashed backpacks and just sneak into one of those preparatory schools and like he's some sort of government agent or something. He looks very young. And it was discovered not too long ago that it was a fraud. I don't know exactly the circumstances. I really should have put more effort into gathering data, but they've been found guilty of fraud. It's I guess, at some point along, trying to make himself a success, he and his wife, or he and his mother, I don't know, he and some other woman got involved with scandal after scandal, and that's how they built their entire empire of real estate. They just defrauded people. They scammed people. They took the money and run. Remember that show where these two people get this briefcase and have to hide it somewhere, and if they can survive an interrogation, then they win? It was the easiest show ever. They probably lost millions of dollars. But yeah, it was a TV show. I think it only went for a few episodes for obvious reasons. So they took the money and run, and now they're getting sentenced. This is Georgia, though, so they're pretty they're decently read over there. And of course, not every single judge is nonpartisan. A lot of them have got to be partisan. There's no way for you to not have political views as a human being nowadays. So, yeah, I mean, they're liberal also. Todd has made it known very, very, very clear that he is liberal with his views, but conservative with his money. Which aren't we all? Who, unless you're rich, wants to be liberal with your money? It's like, oh, I want to throw out all my containers and use hemp seed instead because environmentally friendly. No, most people are conservative with their money if they want to have a good life. So there's that. Let's see, what else did we have? Something about Jeremy Renner. Yeah. So this is Northern Nevada. Jeremy Renner. You may know him as Hawkeye from Avengers. He got in a really bad snowplow accident, and he's not looking too good. I'm sure Doom would probably say something about the vaccine, but come on, let's try to give them the benefit of the doubt. He got run over with a snowplow, and he's getting he's very conservative, and he's getting a lot of attention from CNN. So I just find that very fascinating that people with this great divide between Fox and CNN and the conservatives and the Democrats and come on, give me a break. So Jeremy Renner, I hope he gets better, but ultimately I do find it fascinating that he's getting this much coverage from a very liberal news outlet. So hey, Bitcoin is up. Look at that. I think it's up. I can't say for certain. I know that what I have in it has gone up about $100. I had about 3,000 in there, and it went all the way down to 200 for obvious reasons. I didn't sell, so now it's up to like 400 or so. So that's interesting. I would say it's classic fiat money. Not a lot of people understand Bitcoin, but you just got to think of it as regular money. If enough people believe in it, it's going to have value. Simple as that. Let's see. Is it too early to close off? I don't really have anything. So a long time ago, Will Smith slapped Chris Rock across the face at the Oscars, and he got in a big amount of trouble. And literally every news outlet was covering it, even the ones that don't care much about the Oscars. It's very funny how violence can be the ultimate web connections, the ultimate glue that binds everyone together. When it comes down to it, like when celebrities get violent, everyone's on that. Like it's the next. Elizabeth Holmes, I suppose, for lack of a better comparison. So he slapped Chris Rock, and he's still getting lambasted for it. Does he deserve to? Yes. As a Buddhist, I don't believe in violence, and especially not in a public resort. If you're going to be violent, catch him outside. Do it man to man, not in front of an audience and waste everyone's time. Come on. The whole point behind this episode was to say that these celebrities that we put up on pedestals they're not godly. They don't have anything going better than the rest of us. The only thing is they have really good lawyers that make them very, very generous contracts that get them a lot of money. It's like, okay, you want Robert Downey Jr. in Avengers 4? Okay, that'll be $200 million, please. So, yeah, simple as that. They're rich because people like seeing them, and that's about it. They're good actors. What are you going to say? Anyone can be a good actor with practice, though. I don't think acting, unlike any sort of like trade or internal talent, is really all that impressive. I could be a successful actor if I really put my mind to it, but I don't want to because the economy. There's my second laugh. Oh well. So, in conclusion, I stated in the last diatribe that I really encourage people to recycle more and to stay offline. I'd like to think that, if you're reading or you're doing something progressive while online, then that's perfectly reasonable. But I really do encourage people to really start making their own compost. If you have a rotten onion laying in the pantry, plant it, okay? All you need is a bowl. We had an onion plant pop up, and it had nothing. In fact, the second I started watering it and giving it soil, it started to die. So really look at your resources around you and think how you can make them better. It's really good for the mind to think outside the box. It's like, oh, I don't really feel like buying a, I don't really feel like making a new table, so I'm just gonna buy one. No, come on. I've MacGyvered up so many things around this place. It's almost, um, it's almost humbling. I was just cleaning out the rain gutters earlier today with nothing but like a stick and a shovel. It's very cold outside, so I decided to give myself a little bit of a breather, film some videos here. So, like I said, I always take forever with these outros, but please recycle. Consider how your recycling will really impact the lives of the future, your future generations, and really keep in mind that the more time you spend online, the less time you're going to have to spend towards really fulfilling those dreams that you have in this ever shortening lifespan that we have in this ever-changing world. As bodhisattvas, we do believe in reincarnation. However, that does not in any way encourage us to take for granted the life that we have, or to really take in vain just the amount of opportunities and beautiful circumstances that you can put yourself in if you really decide to live life to the fullest. For with please excuse the overly poetic metaphor I just used. But thank you for watching. Stay optimistic.